Hi everyone, I'm Dahlia. I'm attorney Dahlia Castillo, and tonight I'm going to be talking about the new public charge rule that is going to affect people who are applying for green cards. I have my offices are located in Fayetteville and Holly Springs, North Carolina, and my office number is 910-484-3245. Okay, so public charge is used to refer to someone who is likely to become dependent on the U.S. government. The public charge rule, it's not a new rule. This law has been in place for a very long time. The Trump administration has now added other criteria to determine whether a person will be a public charge. Okay, so who does it affect? So the new public charge rule applies to people who are applying for green cards only. It does not apply to you if you're applying for VAWA, for U visa, for T visa, for asylum, if you are a child and you're applying for a special immigrant juvenile visa, or if you're applying for naturalization or U.S. citizenship. It does not apply if you already have a green card, unless you plan to go out of the country for 6 months or more. And in that case, you may want to talk to an immigration lawyer before you leave the country. And it will not be used to deport people. So that's something you don't have to worry about. So how does the new rule, how is it different from the old public charge rule? Well, the government has taken the old rule and just added other factors to this new rule. I'm not going to go through all the factors, but I will talk about some of them here. So the new rule is broken down into what's called positive and negative factors. I'm only going to talk about the negative factors. Okay, so they look at your age, and this is a totality of the circumstances, not just one particular factor. So it's just everything. They're going to look at everything as a whole. If the person who is applying for the green card is less than 18 years old or more than 61, this will be considered a negative factor in your immigration application. They'll look at your health. If the person who's applying for the green card has a health issue that requires long-term treatment, or if their health issue will interfere with their ability to work or to go to school, and if they don't have any private insurance, then that will be considered a negative factor. They're going to look at your family size. So if the immigration look at the petitioner's family size, as well as the immigrant's family size, to see if they have enough income to support the family that they're bringing into the U.S. So they also look at your financial status and income. And this means that if the immigrant makes less than 125% of the poverty level, for example, a family of 4 at 100% of the poverty level will be taking home about $25,000. So if you make less than that, that will be a negative factor. If you make more than 250% of, then that will be considered a positive factor. So basically, if you're making less than 125%, that is where they'll look to see if you're receiving public benefits. And so now that brings me to speaking about what public benefits will they consider in making their determination in whether or not to give you a green card or to consider you a public charge. So not all public benefits are considered. There's some, for example, if you receive SSI or TANF, food stamps, public housing including Section 8, Medicaid, but they won't consider all Medicaid. If you are receiving emergency Medicaid, or if you're a pregnant woman and you're receiving Medicaid, that won't be considered. And if you're a child or you have children under 21 and they're receiving public benefit, this will not be considered. They'll look at your work history. If you don't have any work history, that will be considered a negative factor. However, there are exceptions to that rule. If you're a primary caregiver of a child or a person with a disability, then the fact that you did not work or you're not able to work will not be considered a negative factor. They'll look at your education and your skills set. So if you speak English, that's a plus. If you have a high school diploma, if you have a college degree, an occupational certificate. So for example, like a trade certificate, like you've gone to trade school, you can do plumbing or electrician, something like that. Anything that will show that you can contribute to the country. Affidavit of support. This has always been required. So this is less important than before. Now they're going to look deeper into who is supporting you, the relationship you have with these people, and they'll look at your joint sponsor and the people that they are also sponsoring. They may, if they see that you're not living with the joint sponsor, they may think that they're not actually supporting you. Now, what happens if there is a determination that the immigrant will be a public charge? Immigration may offer the immigrant the opportunity to post a public charge bond of at least $8,100. The bond may be canceled only if the immigrant dies, if the immigrant gets deported, when they are a lawful permanent resident for at least 5 years, or they naturalize. Okay, so there are going to be new forms as a result of this new public charge rule. The new form will be I-944. And you know, I'm going to stress that you should consult an immigration lawyer before you try to fill out these forms by yourself. I know lawyers cost, money, but most lawyers, they have payment plans, and there are a lot of organizations out there who have lawyers, and they will help you with your forms for little or no fees at all. But I really encourage you to go speak to a lawyer before you try to go at these forms by yourself. So don't attempt to fill out these forms by yourself. This new rule will go into effect on February 24th of this year. So if you're planning to petition for a family member, please call our office. Either, we do consultations at our Fayetteville office and the Holly Springs office, and our phone number is 910-484-3245. So that's 910-484-3245. And we also do appointments, not just in person, but by Skype or WhatsApp. So if you have questions, please give us a call. I'm sure there's more to come. As far as like the guidance, it should be out tomorrow, on February 3rd. So we should know a lot more about how we should go about, preparing this application. So I will see you next week, same time.